Good evening. It's 7 o'clock Irish time, and it is time for guided meditation as usual. So, as usual, it's important to distance ourselves from all the events of the day. Every day, even with the lockdown, is a busy day, sometimes more busy than others. And in addition, we have to cope with many different kinds of stresses. The stress of staying at home with children on a rainy day, trying to channel their energy and exuberance, the challenges of getting into a routine, that is the temptation that whilst people are at home, all the routine gets upset. But there are also some positive things as well. So let us commence as usual by putting ourselves in the presence of the source of divine life, what he calls Sat, the source of divine light, what we call Chit, and the source of divine love, what we call Anand. For those who find visualization difficult, even trying to feel the presence of the divine, you can gaze upon these pictures in front. You can select any one that appeals to you. And at the very top of the shrine, you will find the sound symbol in the conjoined Devanagari script Om, consisting A, O, M, these three syllables, followed by a silence that infers that which we can never think of or describe. Feeling the presence is an important thing, and we have to understand the principle, of course, of meditation. That is, that meditation is an expression of divine grace that is already present and flowing through us. We can't ask for grace, since thoughts which arise are grace itself. We can try to capture spontaneous thoughts and feelings that come to us unasked from the depths of an unconscious mind, where the Lord of the universe sits in potentiality. Let us try to access this very quiet inner place of calmness, place of pure consciousness. So let us, as I say, put the physical body and mind as a unit in the presence of the very source of existence itself. Let us arrange the body in such a way that the chest, the head, and the neck is in a straight line. And as we do this, let us be thankful for the arrangement of the human body that allows us to be mobile in a different way from any other animal. The spine itself represents for us a channel of potentiality that can be uncoiled. There is uncoiled potential within us and within every cell of the body. And so we are thankful for this divine arrangement through which we can access the highest and noblest, our very purpose in life. That is the discovery or uncovering of the divine entity that sits inside us. Christians describe this as the kingdom of God that is within, or the Christ that is within. And Hindus refer to this as the person or Purusha. For meditation purposes, the size of a thumb. The Upanishadic texts call this the Atman, simply the self. Some authors call this the authentic self. We can only access this through the conscious mind by engaging the mind in scriptural texts, holy company, the teaching of a competent teacher, the mind which is pure, dedicated to adoration, dedicated to charity, dedicated to worship, as I say, adoration, charity, and austerity, that is, self-discipline, cultivation of the will, asserting free will in a positive way, is technically called tapas. Now, closing the eyes gently, let us tangibly feel this presence that has no limitations, no borders, this presence that is both simultaneously within and without, like air, this presence that pervades everything. Let us tangibly feel its energetic presence. And in feeling this, let adoration and thankfulness rise up within us, for this entity is infinite love that fills every corner, every micro organ of the body, even within the cell of the body, even the organelles that sit and the nucleus, the nucleotides that sit within each cell, way, way beyond the range of our sight with the eyes, only visible through the most sophisticated technology. Let us see that in every cell of the body, estimated to be 60, 70 trillion cells, that within each one, that looks like an individual mechanism, is this divine presence whose glory spreads within every tiny aspect of it. Now let us mentally turn our attention to adoration and thankfulness in all the manifestations of those holy people throughout the entire world, past, present, and future, to our teacher or line of teachers that trace themselves back, all the way back to cosmic mind, the creator. Let us make our salutations to our most cherished form of God, and let our mind dwell on this form for a moment. We can, for the time being, visualize this form as external to the body, giving us the opportunity to worship. Let us mentally place flowers at the divine feet. Let us mentally offer up our salutations and prayers. Let us be content just to bathe in the divine presence, not asking for anything, but receiving all the flow of grace that emanates from it, and returning exchanges of love. Let us feel that we are children of the divine, willing to be carried, willing to be supported and nourished and protected. Let us now turn to settling the mind by inviting the divine presence into the very depths of our heart. Let us begin by selecting a mantra that is a protecting thought, given preferably by a competent teacher, a guru. And if we do not have such a mantra, then any other positive affirmation will do. But the most superb mantra is simply this Om sound. And so mentally we can repeat this Om or your selected mantra that has the potency of the divine presence within you, around you, pervading everywhere. Let us take a deep breath in, and on the exhalation, we can repeat the sound symbol Om. We can do this all together. And after doing it 3 times, we can continue repeating this sacred thought movement that links our thought with a word. Let us now remain in silence while inwardly we chant this mantra. Just take this sound vibration. Let us visualize how it spreads like waves everywhere, because it is present everywhere, to the farthest corners of the earth, that acts as a mother to all living, breathing, moving, acting, reacting beings, from plants, blade of grass, to the highest manifestation as man, to the highest saint and sage, male or female. At that point, there's no gender. Let us extend this feeling of divine vibration with all its blessings to every being, whether seen or unseen, whether on this earth, in this gross form, or in subtle parallel universes, this vast cosmos and space going on endlessly, the extent of which we know not. Let us think that this whole universe is the body of the totality that we call the Supreme Being. Let us feel this presence not only everywhere, but also in the air around us and the breath that uses it. Let us put our adoration and thankfulness in the scare area of the human body, that is the diaphragm muscle that like a piston moves up and down, drawing in air like a syringe, pushing it out. Let us marvel at the wonderful synergy that this has with plants, the vast forests that give us all the oxygen we require. In this mutual gift exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, this earth dances in perfect harmony. If we cultivate an attitude of thankfulness and adoration, we fill our mind with the essence of purity that doesn't have to combat any negatives. Let us therefore not think that we are inferior or defective. Let us think that firstly we are provided for in every way. And that within is all full, is all free, is all perfect, pure and shining. Let us try to feel the oneness with this. Let us progressively start with being aware of every sound that arrives at the ear. This we do in complete silence. What we will find is that one sound comes to the forefront. Other sounds that we hear diminish. Let us play this game of identification of sounds for a while with this awareness. I am the one that observes all external sounds. Let us now stand as an observer of the ears which hear these sounds. an observer of the mind that registers them. Some likely sounds you may have heard. Maybe it's an airplane in the distance. Maybe it is a car that is passing. Maybe it is the hum of a fan. Maybe it is your own steady breathing. Maybe it is the sound of the rush of blood within your own body. Whatever it is, two things are necessary: the organ of the ear and the mind that registers it. The third entity is necessary, the one that observes it. Let us sink down deeply in the depths of the eye which observes all things, observing every mental movement, observing every sensation in the body, observing every sound, observing every mental registration of this sound, and with every observation, let there be a matching understanding, a self-awareness that says, I am the observer. Let us take it further. I am that immortal one. I have no position in space. I have no change in time. I am one without a second. Immutable, infinite, existence itself, consciousness itself, and bliss. Let us enter into this understanding deeply. Let us forget our sense of embodiment and individuality and all of the baggage that goes with it. Let us deeply enter into the deep ocean of consciousness that finds no limit. Even if we catch a glimmer of it, let us try to stay there for a moment, deep within. And having caught this sensation of pure being, let us imagine it, the very, very inner core of our being, in the very cave of the heart, which normally is dark and now is lit with the light of pure consciousness. Let us feel that within it is the pure light, incomparable, that lights all things from within. Let this light be the very point within the light which is the size of a thumb. And within this essence and point of light, let us find another light. let us sink down deeply into this series until we enter into that blissful entity and state of our own immortal self. And let us remain there in complete contentment, silence, joy, bliss. Om Shanvantu Vishe Amritasya Putra Haye Dhamani Divyan Tastu. Here, you children of immortal bliss, even you that reside in higher spheres, I have found that ancient one who is beyond all darkness, all delusion. Knowing him alone, you shall be saved from death over again. Thus asserts those who have touched and entered into the state of oneness, from which emerges every divine form. One of those selected is your chosen ideal, which we now salute. Place ourselves at that one's feet and decorate the entire mind with values of strength and beauty, goodness and love, harmony. Decorating the mind in this way as we decorate flowers on a shrine. Let us gaze upon the divine face. That is the expression of pure, undiluted, unconditional love. Let us allow this love to emanate from within, through us, through the body, through the mind, through all of space and time, penetrating and permeating everywhere. Let us see that there is no distinction among beings. Let us see that there are no individualities or forms, only what appears to be. Let us assert, as we started, let all beings be happy, let all beings be peaceful, let all beings be blissful. Let us conclude with a unity prayer. O adorable Lord of mercy and love, salutations and prostrations unto Thee. Thou art omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent. Thou art the inbearer of all beings. Thou art Satchit Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss absolute. Grant us an understanding heart, equal vision, balanced mind, faith, devotion, and wisdom. Grant us the inner spiritual strength to resist temptation and control the mind. Free us from all our vices, fill our hearts with divine virtues. Let us behold Thee in all these names and forms. Let us serve Thee in all these names and forms. Let Thy name be ever on our lips and Thy presence be ever in our hearts. Let us abide in Thee forever and ever. Let us abide in Thee forever and ever. Let there be peace to all. And while you linger on in this meditation and continue in your own time, at your own pace, we will prepare for our discourse on the Srimad Bhagavad Gita on this same channel at 8 o'clock Irish time.